Turn it up. Hit me up in the microphone. Turn it up. Hit me up in the microphone. Let's go.
Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father
To 8.
and the creator of what is going to be the number one most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Yo, at some point soon, I'm going to have to get that intro updated. It is now Father to 9. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is JoJo. What's up, JoJo? I'm so glad you're here. Today is Wednesday. That's right. Today is Wednesday, a.k.a. CMA Day, Carter Myers Automotive Group. Most amazing automotive group on planet Earth. Today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. And what's crazy, how you doing, Paulina? Thank you for being here. And what is crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, and I do mean incredible day. Today, it is 853 days until my 50th birthday. 853 days until my 50th birthday. Now, the reason this is important, you're probably like, whoa, that is a way crazy countdown, 853 days. This is important. And it ties into exactly what we need to talk about today. So stay with me here. But today we have 853 days until Glenn Lundy's 50th birthday. Now, we got to go back in time in order for moving forward to make sense. So 7 years ago, in January of 2018, I started this show called Hashtag Rise and Grind. And through that show, you know, I started doing the morning show every single day, and it started to grow. We started to build an audience, so on and so forth. Started to open some doors, started to create some different opportunities. And in October of 2018, 10 months later, I decided to leave my job on the retail side of automotive, a job that I loved with an amazing mentor who was like my best friend on planet Earth, a job that I loved where I was making incredible money, and I thought I was going to be there forever. I literally thought I was going to be there forever. And I decided to leave there in October of 2018. Now, I immediately told my wife, who was 9 months pregnant at the time, 9.5 months pregnant, I immediately made her a promise. I made her a promise, and I said, honey, I don't know exactly what this is going to look like, but I promise you, if you will support, if you will believe, if you will stand beside me for the next however many years it was at the time, which I guess would be 10, if you'll just stand behind me for the next 10, here's my promise. On my 50th birthday, when I turn 50 years old, our family will be in a position where neither one of us ever has to work again. Now, if we choose to, that's great. But we will be in a financial position where our family can live for eternity, the next 70 years, hopefully, doing whatever she wants to do. Like literally whatever. We will be in a financial position where we never have to work again. And if she chooses and she's like, I want to go out and buy 1,000 acres in Wyoming and live off the land and raise sheep, like whatever she says, that's the opportunity we're going to have. I said, just give me the next decade to get us there. And on my 50th birthday, I promise you get to choose what the rest of our life looks like. Now, she's probably going to say, knowing my wife, she'll probably say, you know, on my 50th birthday, she'll probably be like, dude, why are you here at the house? Like, get out of here and go back to work is probably what she'll say. But I want her to have a choice. because from the day we met, she's always supported my crazy rear end, and she deserves that. So I made that promise when I quit my job, and then in 2019, after promising her that, I started making whatever chess moves I could make and just trying to figure things out. In 2019, that was just a year of trying to figure it out. And then in 2020, technically late 2018, but in 2020, we launched 800% Club, our training and consulting side. And I had no clue what I was doing, by the way, when we launched this. It started as just a 2-day event. And then after 2 days, I'm like, oh, we should probably do a membership so that we can build relationships with these people outside of the 2-day event. And so we launched it, and it used to just be Zoom calls. Like, I literally would just get on Zoom calls with owners of car dealerships every week that were members in our group, and I would answer questions, and I would do weekly trainings. Fast forward, that's grown to a platform, multi-million-dollar company, so on and so forth. But meanwhile, I'm still like doing this show, right? I'm doing this Rise and Grind daily morning show. I've launched a business. I have no idea how to run a business. I don't even know what the business is, but I've launched it. That was 2020. 2021, and then also in 2020, that was when, that one thing happened. We all know 2020, and everything started like picking up steam. Right? Everything started picking up steam. The show was getting a lot of traction. I was starting to get new guests. We were starting to do merchandise. I was doing amazing interviews. Like, the show was growing. It was picking up steam. And then we did this Clubhouse thing. We jumped onto Clubhouse, and that blew up. Clubhouse blew up, and we really started building some connections and some relationships. My relationship with Grant Cardone really grew and expanded during that particular season. And in 2021, we had the 1,000th episode of #Rise and Grind, which we did a live event in Lexington, Kentucky, which was amazing for the 1,000th episode. And after 1,000 episodes, I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to commit to doing, because my next marker would be 2,500, just the way my brain works. If I've already done 1,000, the next accomplishment milestone would be 1,500. 1,500 plus 1,000 is 2,500 episodes. So I was like, let me put it on pause. So we put the show on pause for just a little bit. But now I had like all of these relationships with Grant Cardone and David Meltzer, and I was traveling all over the place. And in 2022, I got the greatest speaker in America. And then I was like, okay, let's bring the show back. And we did Rise and Grind kind of version 2. And we were still doing the Clubhouse thing, which was crazy. And then fast forward in 2023, the business is growing. Rise and Grind is back, but we're doing like different versions with Heather Parody and so on and so forth. We're trying all these different iterations, and I'm like literally on the road doing all kinds of speaking events and all these different things. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Everything's going great. Business is growing. So in 2023, my wife and I bought a jet so that I could, travel faster, be home more. So we bought a jet. We moved into a new office space, 10,000 square foot office space. We hired a bunch of people. And right after all of that, and I stopped doing the show. And right after that, we hit a stall. That's the only way to describe it. We hit a stall. We lost some really important clients all at the same time. And when we went into 2024, we were downtrending as a company. In 2024, there were 5 months, I think, 4 or 5 months where my wife and I didn't get a paycheck. We couldn't take a paycheck out of the company to make sure everybody else got paid. We lost some long-term clients, not for any other reason other than they'd just been with us for a long time and kind of timed out, right? I wasn't doing any show. We bought a dealership. That was a whole fiasco. That partnership didn't work out well. We continued to lose a couple more clients along the way. I lost some friends along the way. And then in 2025, this year, we got off to a slow start. We had a new baby. We relaunched the show. We have some new partnerships and some new relationships. And right now, as a company, we are experiencing a growth explosion. Like massive growth explosion right now, which is incredible, right? Especially now that I have all the lessons that we learned from the last growth explosion. But in the midst of that, I looked up, right? I looked up in the midst of all of that. Everything I just shared with you has happened over 7 years. And so I looked up and I realized, oh my gosh, dude. I called Heather when I realized this. I looked up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I only have 947 days until I have to deliver on this promise for my wife. And I mean my poor wife, right? Imagine being my wife through all of these iterations. Imagine being my wife through all of the uncertainty. Imagine being my wife where there's some months where we're not getting a paycheck while you have 8 kids and you're pregnant with your 9th at home, right? Imagine being my wife when one year I'm gallivanting all over the place, speaking on stages, doing all of these things and buying jets. And the next year we're like, oh, we got to downsize and we got to sell this and the phone's not ringing. Like, just imagine being my wife on that side, my poor wife. So I realized I have 947 days. Meanwhile, she's the backbone of this whole thing, by the way. So I realized I have 947 days to deliver on that promise. And I'm like, whoa, we're not there. Like, we're not there. We're not even close to there. Are we in a position where we could live like when I say financially free, I don't just mean that we have enough to pay our bills for the next 70 years. I mean, we have enough to where my wife, if she's like, I want to go and live in Australia for 5 years, like, we can go do that and it affects us zero. Like, that's the type of financial freedom I'm talking about. She wants 1,000 acres in Wyoming. She wants whatever she wants, right? Like, whatever life she wants, we have to be financially free to make that choice. And so it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? And as of today, I have 853 days left. 853 days to fulfill the promise. So this morning, I want to ask you, what is your 947 day, or in this case, 853 day promise? What is the 853 day promise you've made to yourself? What is the 853 day promise you've made to yourself? Or, I'm sorry, to someone else. Because listen, who you are 853 days from now is going to be decided by the choices and actions you take today. There is a future version of you that doesn't get to choose the situation that they're in when they arrive at that time. The 50-year-old in you doesn't get to choose what 50 looks like when he or she arrives at 50. It's all based on the decisions you make at 47, at 42, at 39. All of these things start to layer up. So listen, I'm curious what promise you've made to the 853 day from now version of you. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I don't know if that necessarily adds up. Listen, if you don't believe me, that's all right, but I can prove it. The most impactful leader of all time, his ministry lasted roughly 947 days. 3 years. His words, his actions, his decisions that he made over a period of 3 years is still affecting all of humanity 2,000 years later. 947 days. Now, look, this week we are studying the most impactful leader in the history of all time, a person by the name of Jesus. And we're not studying him from a religious side, or we're not studying him from a spiritual side. We're not studying from any of those sides. We're studying him the same way we would study any other leader, because success leaves clues. And earlier in the week, we talked about Jesus the rebel. Yesterday, we talked about Jesus the servant, which, by the way, that particular episode got flagged. However, we disputed it, and it's back out there. So if you missed yesterday's episode, feel free to go find it. Today, we're going to talk about Jesus the storyteller. Before we do, though, my friend Randy sent me another AI song that I think you guys will like. Check this out. And we got to do some dancing. Let's go. Oh, I don't know why it changed like that on that shot. I won't change the camera shot again because it was about to hit.
Let's go. It's 5:30 a.m. and the world's awake. Lundy in the house, no time to break. This is the anthem. This is the grind. Let's go. Rise and grind every single day. 5:30 in the morning. Glenn's leading the way. Husband to one, father to nine. Host of the show, man, it's time to shine. Rise and grind. Keep the
Let's go. For those of you that know, those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button, because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. Sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. Yeah, this song's bad, right? Good morning, Liza. How are you? Great to see you. What's up, Sean Weatherby? Great to see you as well. It is a banger. Good morning, Mary Lynn Wilkin. Great to see you. How you doing, Dana Fishbein? Thanks for being here. Eileen Mitnick is in the building. Pastor Jeff, thanks for being here. Tosh Queen. What up, Tosh Queen? Thank you for being here today. I greatly appreciate you. Jackie Burke is in the building. Thanks for being here, Jackie Burke. Angeline Moore, great to see you. Rich Pintrick is in the building as well. Great to see you, Rich. Thanks for being here. Let's go. We've got Don Sankey in the building this morning. Thanks for being here, Don. I appreciate you. Patrick Kimmerly. It's so good. West Storm, good morning. Sol Salcido, thank you for being here. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Kelly Taylor, Bella Rigby, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you this morning. Nicholas and Vivian is in the building. I know the song is fire, right? If you guys go to Vinyl, Randy can put the clip. I showed it yesterday, but he has a Facebook page just filled with all these different songs. You can download them off of there. AI, they're all made with AI. They're pretty incredible. It's vinyl. Just look up Randy Knight. You'll see it there. But he sent me that song yesterday. He's like, we need something a little bit faster for the show. I'm like, yeah, we do. I'll play it again there at the end so you guys can enjoy it. All right, but we got to dive in. So Jesus the Storyteller, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the share button, tag your friends, do all those things. I greatly appreciate it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Glenn Lundy, husband to one, father to nine, host of this show, author, owner of 800% Elite Automotive Club, training and consulting, and just super excited to be here. Now, listen, great leaders don't just give instructions. Great leaders tell stories that stick. Jesus, the greatest leader of all time, he used simple, everyday parables to communicate world-changing truths. The last 2 days, we looked at Jesus, the rebel leader, and Jesus, the servant leader. But today, I want to show you a side of him that ultimately made his message unforgettable, and that's Jesus, the storytelling leader. Like, if you really think about it, Jesus never wrote a book. Jesus never handed out instruction manuals or pamphlets. No, Jesus told stories. He told stories about seeds. He told stories about sheep. He told stories about coins and parties. And here's the crazy part is 2,000 years later, we're still talking about those stories. You see, that's the power of storytelling leadership, because ultimately humans are wired for story. Like, we remember stories better than we remember bullet points. Jesus used parables to make deep truths simple and relatable. He made them simple and relatable across class. He made them simple and relatable across culture. He made them simple and relatable across age ranges. He made them simple and relatable so that everyone ultimately can connect and everyone could get a seat at the table. An example of that is the story of the Good Samaritan. This is a story about compassion, but the story of compassion is told through an unforgettable story. If you've never heard of it, check it out.
There once was a man who, when feeling quite clever, asked Jesus how he could live on forever. Jesus responded, "Well, what's in the law?" "Love your God and your neighbour," the man said, quite sure. "But who is my neighbour?" he tried to find out, for he knew of some people he'd rather not count. Jesus told him a story. It began with a man whose journey did not go according to plan. For the place he was headed was a long way from home, on a dangerous road for walking alone. The journey was smooth, until suddenly, smack! Some robbers appeared and quickly attacked. They beat him and bashed him and left him half dead. They stole all his clothes and then quickly they fled. A little time later, a priest passed nearby, on whose kindness his people could always rely. But he saw the man and just ran right away, for his kindness could not go quite that far today. Then came a man who quite liked doing good, but saw blood and then scarpered as quick as he could. A Samaritan came next to the man who had suffered, and normally these people would hate one another, but this man showed kindness and bandaged his sores. He brought him to safety and paid for it all. Then Jesus asked, "So who was the neighbour?" "The one," said the man, "who showed love to a stranger who'd hated the people like him." But although it was hard, this man let kindness win. Then Jesus said, "Go and love like that too." And he says that to me, and he says that to you. But he didn't just tell us to go do the same. He showed us this love is the reason he came. He came down to earth as the ultimate neighbour, to show perfect love to a world full of strangers. Strangers who've hated, rejected, ignored him. People like us who are broken before him. But to us, he is kind. He tends to our sores. He takes us to safety and pays for it all. He lays down his life and takes up our sin to let love conquer all and to let kindness win.
You guys feel me? It doesn't say just be compassionate. It doesn't say, oh, you should just be kind. No, it tells the story. It tells a story in a relatable way that anybody can connect with. When studying the greatest leader of all time, the most impactful leader that we've experienced, that all of humanity has experienced, one who in 947 days-ish, by the way, that's not an exact day, but in 947 days, in 3 years, lived his life in such a way as a rebel, as a servant leader, and as a storyteller, that it's still making an impact today. It's not bullet points. It's not you have to do this. Great leaders tell stories. You see, here's what's interesting. Instruction informs the mind. Stories transform the heart. You see, if you want to be a great leader, you have to add storytelling into your toolkit, because the decisions and actions and words that you use today are ultimately going to determine the outcome that you have 947 days from now, or in my case, 853 days from now. You see, Jesus told a roughly 30 plus parables. Each one was short, each one was visual, each one was sticky. And here's what's amazing: as he told all of these stories, these parables made people think, not just obey. These parables sparked curiosity. It sparked a desire in others to learn more. These parables worked across all classes: the rich, the poor, the educated, the uneducated. They could all understand. You see, if you think about in modern day, you think about somebody like Steve Jobs. See, Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, but he didn't explain the circuits. He didn't tell you how the circuits in your phone work. He didn't tell you how the speaker in your phone works. He didn't tell you how the microphone in your phone works. He didn't tell you anything about the plastic or the wires or the solder that goes into it. He didn't explain any of that. Instead, he just simply told a story about 1,000 songs in your pocket. Everyone from the 4-year-old to the 104-year-old can connect with the idea, the vision of having 1,000 songs in your pocket. So listen, as leaders, parents, business owners, don't just bark orders, tell stories. You want to make more sales? Tell the story of the family that benefited from your product. You want to inspire your team? Tell the story of a time that you overcame something together. You want to connect better with your kids? Share lessons through your own life stories, not just rules. You see, in the greatest book of all time, the best-selling book of all time, there's a chapter, Matthew 13:34, and it says, Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. My friend Les Brown says, never give a point without a story, and never tell a story without a point. So today, I'm going to challenge you, instead of giving someone instructions, tell them a story. As you're leading teams today and you're having conversations, frame it as a story. As you're inspiring your kids today, share a memory from your experience. And as you're encouraging yourself, tell yourself your own comeback story. You see, Jesus didn't need to shout, force, or demand. He simply told stories that captured hearts and moved people into action. If you want to lead like Jesus and leave a legacy like Jesus and make an impact like Jesus, obviously none of us will ever equal his ministry, but we can captivate the minds and the hearts of those that we love and those around us by simply telling our story. There's a great philosopher by the name of Plato. He said, "Those who tell the stories rule the world." There was another quote that said, "Never tell your audience what to do. Tell them a story that makes them want to do it." 65% of all conversations are stories. Stories are 22 times more memorable than facts alone per Stanford. So that is why on today's episode, I started with the story. The story of the last 7 years, how the journey began, the promise that I've made to my wife, and how here we are now, 853 days away from delivering on the promise. Now, just you knowing that I'm in that 853-day journey, just you knowing that my 50-year birthday is 853 days today, just you knowing that vision, just you knowing that that goal ultimately helps me achieve it and will allow you to come along the way. And when we ring that bell, when we hit that goal, when we celebrate that victory on 853 days from now, when we do that, it is the stories that we told along the way that will strengthen the relationships that will ultimately get passed down from generation to generation. If I just gave you the stats and the figures, there is no way we could go on the journey together. Stop leading through bullet points. Start leading through story. Fair? All right, listen, I absolutely stinking love you. If nobody's told you that today, I want to be the first. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. Go out there today. I'm going to challenge you. Use those stories. Share those stories. It's incredibly, incredibly important. And make sure you share this episode, today's episode of #Rise and Grind. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do this all over again right here on #Rise and Grind. And another shout out to Randy Knight for using AI to write this banger, which I am going to play again. Hold on, I want to make sure the sound is up. Okay, I'm gonna play it again right now. And then I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. All right, cool. See ya.
Let's go. Let's go. It's 5:30 a.m. and the world's awake. Glenn Lundy in the house, no time to break. Husband to one, father to nine. This is the anthem. This is the grind. Us all rise and grind every single day. 5:30 in the morning, Glenn's leading the way. Husband to one, father to nine. Host of the show, man, it's time to shine. Rise and grind, keep the fire alive. Motivation daily, we all gon' thrive. From the stage to the mic, he's one of a kind. This is the anthem, rise and grind. Before the sunrise, he's sparking the flame. Millions inspired, remember the name. Faith, family, future, he's leading with love. Dropping daily wisdom that comes from above. Early morning power, he's setting the tone. 5:30 a.m., yeah, you're never alone. Glenn Lundy's voice is a light in the dark, igniting every soul with a fire to spark. Rise and grind every single day. 5:30 in the morning, Glenn's leading the way. Husband to one, father to nine. Host of the show, man, it's time to shine. Rise and grind, keep the fire alive. Motivation daily, we all gon' thrive. From the stage to the mic, he's one of a kind. This is the anthem, rise and grind. The best morning show with a powerful vibe. Dropping energy that helps us all rise. Husband to